Okay, so I'm going to be doing some temporary electric fence with the goats this year to experiment. When we move to the new farm, I plan on doing um, portable fencing and moving it. And I am not interested in moving electric netting. Like, it just looks like a total mess to me. I've looked into a few other things, and I think I'm going to try doing a couple different strands of portable fence just because I think it's going to be easier for me to move every day. So we'll see. And if it doesn't work out for the goats, it will work for cattle, and you really typically only need to use one strand for cattle. So I've got my supplies here, and I bought one big thing of wire, and that will need to get wound on these reels. So I got 4 reels, so I'm gonna split it up into 4 different lengths. So I have it's like 1,320 feet right now, and I will split it up into 330-foot lengths. And then I'm gonna have my husband set up the electric fence with me because I don't understand electricity. I literally hate it. It's like the one thing that he tries to explain to me over and over, and I have no idea. I don't know what he's saying. I don't get it. Amps, volts, joules. Okay, so this isn't working. There's no way to get these started. There's no slit or hole or anything. So we drilled a hole right there, if you can see. And we're just gonna, that way I can stick the twine through it to get it started, because you just can't get enough pressure on. So I wound this one up already, and you can see I just stuck the twine excuse me, the braid, it's poly braid, through there, and it wound up pretty decent. Again, these are not the best reels, and I knew that going into it, but I couldn't figure out how to get it started. So this will go a lot quicker now. Okay, I lied. There is a hole. There's a hole like almost right next to where we drilled it. I don't know how the two of us didn't see it. It's like way down in the crack, and I just didn't see it. I don't know. I feel really stupid. So my last one is still on the reel here, or on the spool, so that'll be easy for me to just reel that up. So I'm gonna do that last one quick, try the hole that's already in it, and then I'll be finished up. All right, this is the first 5 minutes of electric fence. We've had 2 shockers. Oh, there we go. Gosh, you poor thing. So it really seems awful at first, but once they figure out not to touch the fence, they'll be fine. It's a learning process. Oh, dang it. So we gotta get you back in. The goats are in this new section right now that we made for them. We put up the temporary electric fence. That's our neighbor's house. We're really close. And the grass is super, super long here. It's, almost up to my knee. And we're just gonna see if we can keep them in. This is all electrified, and this is the first time they've been outside of the cattle panel, so we're gonna see how this goes. So far, nobody's tried to get too close to the fence, so hopefully it can stay in, and I can avoid having to babysit them all day. So I've got my son out here right now helping. Hey, Tink. They're really enjoying it, so they ran out here really quick. I thought it would be much harder to get them out because they're sometimes a little leery and a little cautious of something new. They've been doing really good, so hopefully we'll will not have to watch them. And I think this section should last them about 3 days. Ideally, you would give them a smaller section, let them graze it all down. But what I found as I started doing this temporary fencing is that if they get a spot that's too small, they're almost too scared to go in it because they don't want to get shocked. So the fence is doing its job. I don't have enough goats to justify doing, you know, a bigger space and then having that filled up with goats to have them all graze it off in one day. So right now, I'll give them a couple days in each spot, but the grass is super, super tall, so they shouldn't graze it down too fast. So hopefully this will work out well. So I just want to take a minute to show you how I set up this electric fence. So this is where they come out, and this is normally how they get, like, they come out and they come into the pasture. So then this here is my pasture, and this is all lined with cattle panel out there, okay? So what I did is this actually isn't electrified, and I really don't care if they get outside of it because they're still, you know, in this pasture. So it's not the end of the world. So what I did was I pulled out this cattle panel in the corner here. So then I just made this like a walkway so they can come out and come down. And then I pulled the cattle panel out. And then I set up my fence starting here. And then it goes around in a big rectangle. So I've got my fencer here. This is my ground rod. I got the one with the T handle, and I really like it because it's really easy to take in and out. We are so moist here. I only have a 3-foot ground rod, and I only shove it in like maybe 8 inches. I don't need much. Everything's so wet. So then I have these 3 wires connected just with some of that poly braid, so that you need that carries the electricity through all 3 strands. Okay, and then this gets connected to the ground rod, and then this gets connected to your fence, and then it goes from your energizer to your battery. We had thought about doing solar, but honestly these batteries last so long, like it wasn't worth the extra $150 or more for the solar panel. So we just hook it up, and I tried charging it yesterday for the first time, and it was full. So after how many days, I haven't had to charge it at all. So positive, negative. So it's pretty easy. I use the O'Brien fence posts so far. I love them. These are just kind of holding the cattle panel up. I actually probably could just plug it in down here because we do have power running over here, like for our lights and stuff down to the chicken coop and the goat shed, but I would have had to reconfigure it so the fencer was on that side, and I really want them to eat all this like grass in here, so I didn't want to pull it like away from the fence. So it comes all the way around and comes around the side of the chicken coop here, and then I just attach my reels and lock them onto an existing fence. And then what I did on all the corners, anywhere where it turns or it was bending, I just use another fence post to kind of stake that up to make it a little more upright. So it actually was really easy. It has gone pretty well. I was nervous about, like, I didn't understand how to hook it up, and there's a lot of different ways, and a lot of people, everybody claims that their way is the best and that, you know, you have to connect all 3 on both sides, and some say you don't, and I don't understand electricity, so to me, I'm like, I don't know. So this was the first way we tried it. It's hot. I touched it. I got a good zap, so I thought we're gonna go with this. It wasn't too much, so I know I'm not, you know, hurting them. So this has been working really well. We're gonna go with it. So it's been almost a week since we've had the goats in the temporary electric fence outside of their pasture, and it's been working really well for us. I've been able to go down to 2 strands of poly wire now, and they're obeying it and staying in really well. I've had them in 3 different sections. I ended up getting 4 days out of that first section because it was so large, and now that they're getting used to it, they're much better at going in a tighter area. Yesterday I had them kind of like in a walkway over there, and they did just fine. Initially when I had first gotten the electric fence out, they were just they were kind of scared of it and they didn't want to go too close, but now they'll go pretty much right up to the fence, and I think it's gonna work out really well for us.